right here in the heart of Times Square in Midtown Manhattan.
Also known as the Crossroads of the world. Terrible name.
Totally
Horrible.
understand the spirit of that nickname, but I also acknowledge it makes us sound very full of ourselves.
Very much so.
So I think for right this second it looks like we don't have anybody around us, so I'm gonna unmask for just a minute. We'll keep these handy though in case we need to put them back on. So Times Square is a must-see destination for most visitors to New York City. It is nicknamed the Crossroads of the world. That really is a real thing, not just a thing Nick said. It's a lot of hustle and bustle. Usually there are millions of people that visit this place annually, but it wasn't always like that. Believe it or not, even up until the early 1900s, this was still considered very far north of New York City.
Yes.
This was actually where the horse and carriage industry was headquartered, and it wasn't called Times Square, it was called Longacre Square.
Yes.
It became Times Square in 1904 when the New York Times moved here.
Yes, the Gray Lady herself came up here and they set their headquarter office right behind us right here. This is known as One Times Square. This building,
What am I doing?
there we
Am I
go.
framing
I'm
it?
trying to, I think, so I'm pointing there. We see those
We're
lights
pretty
going
good.
up. We'll show you at the top there is where you have the New Year's Eve ball drop happen every New Year's Eve here right in Times Square. That was a tradition that started in the early 1900s, but it wasn't always a ball drop.
No.
The very first celebrations in order to welcome the New York Times into what they now call Times Square was still a lit up ball that was made of wood, like timber and steel, and it was lit with, I believe it was 175 watt bulbs. Not very bright. And it just was basically there, and they had a fireworks display.
Electricity was still kind of like new and cool.
They were
though,
figuring
so
it all
looked
out.
Good.
Exactly.
But the fireworks were really what people were coming to see,
Exactly,
honestly.
exactly.
So they did fireworks for a few years, and then as this area of town got busier and busier, and the New Year's Eve celebration here in Times Square also got busier, the fire department was like,
this is not safe. There were several
doesn't
injuries.
feel
There were
like
several
a
people
great
that got
idea.
hurt, and so they decided this was a bad idea. And then
That was fair, I think.
absolutely.
I think that was fair.
December 31st, 1907 is when we had the very first ball drop, and that is what we know today as our New Year's Eve celebration here in
Yes.
Times Square, where millions of people come every year.
Every
To
year.
be barricaded, corralled in like cattle for hours on
You're
end.
making
on
it
a-
sound bad.
Am I? No, it's wonderful. Wear a diaper. That's all I'm saying. Anyways,
he's not
it's
wrong.
pretty spectacular to see just the number of people that are down here
Yeah.
to see this magnificent ball drop. We can tilt the phone back, and you can even see at the top of One Times Square. Let's see if we get right there.
Oh,
There it is. Ah, there it is. There's the ball drop. It says 2020 up there. How about that? And you can see One Times Square.
Look at that. Look
Absolutely.
At
Woo!
So the ball drops for the last minute of the year. Everybody counts down. Once we hit midnight, they drop like 2 tons of confetti off
It's
of
absurd.
the rooftop. It's crazy. It takes days to clean up. But this is the way millions of people ring in the new year. You have the millions of people here in the square itself, and then you also have people watching all over the world.
Millions across the
So
world.
it is a huge deal. It is a big part of the celebration in Times Square. And now they keep the ball up there all year round. So even if you're not here for New Year's Eve, or maybe you don't want to wear a diaper in a corral, then you can still see the ball.
Absolutely.
The New York Times is actually not in that building anymore. They weren't in there for very long. It was the tallest building. Briefly, tallest building in New York was like a real thing for a while. You're gonna hear us talk so much about it. They weren't there for very long, but the name Times Square has stuck ever since, even though the Times moved a block away many years ago. So on this next series of videos, we're gonna be showing you a lot of other things right here in this vicinity, right here in Midtown, but we're starting here at the Crossroads of the world.